Hi, this is Dr. Adria Sutherland. I am the clarinet professor at Eastern Kentucky University, and I'm making some videos today to help you out with your All-State Band auditions. So this is for the 2022 and 2023 Kentucky All-State Band, and we're going to be working through number 20 from the book of Rose 40 Studies. So this is obviously our technical etude, and we're only doing measures 1 through 36 for this All-State Band audition. So I am going to play through it first, and then I'll come back and give you some tips on how to best prepare it. Okay, so that was number 20 from the Rose Book of 40 Studies, measure 1 through 36. First thing that I notice about this particular etude is the marking at the top, which is Polonaise. If you don't know what that is, it is a slow dance of Polish origin, which is in 3/4. So already it's telling us that this is not supposed to be super fast. This is not one that we want to blaze through. Also, it's marked quarter note equals 104, which we know is also not super duper fast. So we're not worried about speed on this one so much as we are just tons of style, lots of accents and articulations, lots of attitude. I really think that it's quirky and fun, so when I play it, I try to bring out that kind of flavor in it. So I encourage you to do the same. There are trills throughout this, right? And they're just really hard to fit in, so don't go crazy with them. Just a few wiggles is fine. What we really like to do as woodwind players is hang out on trills way longer than we probably should. But here you'll notice that all of them are approached from a grace note above. And so if you just do the grace note, like I'm going to do the first one, that's just with the grace note. You just sort of flip that in there right before the beat. But to trill, then we want to add another wiggle or two. Trying to keep in time as much as you can, but likely you're going to add just a smidge of time, and that's really okay. It kind of goes with the style of the piece. So you have that one, it goes up to E. You've got one in measure 3 from D to C. So I would practice each one of these on their own before putting them into the entire piece. Measure 5 is just like measure 1. Measure 8 goes from A down to G. Looking through for the next one, looks like it's in measure 29, which is up in your altissimo register. So it's just from, here's your traditional E fingering. I would not do it with my fingers held out like this. I'm just over exaggerating to show you. And then so E to D like this. You might not need to put down this vent key. This is mostly just for intonation if you do it. So I would just, when I play it, I don't even fool with this pinky key. I just go E to D, grace note and trill like this, and then down to my C sharp. Like that. And then the last trill looks to be in measure 33, and that's like the one that we've had a few times already before, measure 1, measure 5, and so forth. There is a grace note that we need to watch out for too, and that's in measure 31. And I just want to talk about a fingering for that really quickly. You can do your traditional D and go down to your C, but it's a lot easier, I think, to use your side key, okay? So if you were actually going to trill from your high C, right, which is just your thumb and your register key, and you're going to trill up to your C, I always use my second trill key from the top. So on the side, we've got these 4 trill keys in a row. I like the second one from the top, so I'm holding out my C. And it helps you trill up to a D like that. If that one doesn't come out your horn, sometimes you can use your G sharp key, this guy right here. But sometimes on instruments that's a little flat in pitch, but it usually does come out a bit easier. So I would use one of those for that. Or whichever one works better for you is totally fine, but either of those is easier than going all the way up to your traditional D fingering. Okay, let's look at rhythm. This is one that trips a lot of people up when they're preparing this particular etude. It's the rhythm that first shows up in measures 3 and 4. It's the 16th note to the 32nd note, and then with the 32nd rest right after it, and that in succession. Really messes with a lot of people visually, but you can't let it fool you. All it really acts like is 16th notes in succession, but each one is sort of clipped after it. So I'm looking at measure 3. That's all it is. So if I played it like straight 16th notes, it would sound like this. It's like scale steady. It's a scale in thirds. Okay, but because of the rest there, we're just going to clip it. Okay, so in succession. And always we want to go somewhere with the lines that we're playing, right? So that one, it doesn't say to crescendo, but it really just makes sense to do that musically. So again, you're always either going somewhere or coming from somewhere. This doesn't have tons of dynamic markings in it, so it's kind of a choose your own adventure with that, but you know, do what you think makes the most sense. The most important thing is that you do something. You don't want to just be boring with your music making. You want to have it going somewhere and doing something. We do have dynamics, however, coming in measure 16. Let me make sure I'm saying the right measure. Yeah, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. They have a forte followed by a piano, so you really need to make sure that you're bringing out the differences. And those, it's like this big, loud, deep voice, and then this little high voice up there. Lots of accent on that, right? So you can kind of, you know, show a big contrast right there, and that's great. Other thing I want to talk about is pinkies. So look at measure 10. This is the first place where it might kind of trip us up with pinkies. You have your B, A, F sharp, because that's in the key signature, D sharp, and then your C natural. So you got to play that C natural on your left-hand side. So D sharp on the right, C natural on the left, and then that leaves you open to go to your B on the right-hand side. B, C sharp on the left, D sharp on the right, and on up. So I would mark some R's and L's in that measure for sure. Measure 14 also has something that could be a bit tricky. If you're used to playing your B here and your C sharp here all the time on the same side, remember on clarinet we want to alternate pinkies whenever possible. Sometimes rules are made to be broken, but this is not one of those times. So measure 14, you've got your F sharp, D, A, and then going on up, B. I like to do it B on the left, C sharp on the right, and on up. But if you like it the reverse way, B on the left, C sharp on the right over here, that's also perfectly fine. Again, it's just like with the lyrical etude, it's a matter of preference right there. And then I believe that's all of the details that I wanted to talk about with this etude. But if you have any questions at all, please feel free to contact me. You can email me at any time. It's adria.sutherland@eku.edu. You can ask questions about this. You can ask questions about how playing clarinet in college. You can ask for some sight reading tips, anything, and we can do a lesson via Zoom or in person if you would like to. Also keep your ears open and your eyes open for November the 12th. I'm going to do an all-state coaching session at EKU that day. It's going to be completely free. I'll send details out via email to the band directors, and I'll also put it on my Facebook page so you can look me up there and find details if you'd like to. And we're just going to work on taking all these etudes to the next level at that point, and I'll also give you some sight reading tips and tricks. So best of luck with your preparation, and hopefully I'll talk to you soon.